Hi there, it's a very happy sunny day here in the Amoretti test kitchen today, and I'm gonna make something super popular and trending. It is a gluten-free nut flour chocolate cake, and this cake can be used for all kinds of occasion, used as a birthday cake, a snack cake, anything that you want it to be, because it's so versatile and at the same time it is so light, moist, and not fudgy like you would expect a chocolate cake without regular flour in it. And I'm gonna tell you, this is something, if you start using it, you won't stop using this recipe. For this nut flour cake today, I'm going to use our Premium Blanched Almond Flour, and you can substitute it for our hazelnut flour or pecan flour and you'll get wonderful results too. So we're going to mix in the dry ingredients first, and let me tell you, this cake is a cross between the chocolatey sponge and like the classic chocolate cake with regular flour in it. So I'm going to use the same technique that you use to make a chocolatey sponge by aerating the egg whites and then adding it into the almond flour. So we're going to start by mixing in 120 gram of almond flour. Because our almond flour is pre-sifted, it's so fine you need not sift it again. You can just drop it in. And up next, I have 50 grams of cocoa powder. For this recipe, I prefer to use regular unsweetened baking cocoa powder and not the Dutch processed one. So with cocoa powder, it's always better to sift it just before you use it, because it'll have clumps like this and it can create like air pockets in your cake, and you don't want that. So you can just sift it once before you are about to bake, and ensure that you have a very fine flour mix in there. All the cocoa powder is in there. We're going to drop in 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half teaspoon of baking soda, and half teaspoon of salt. Now we're gonna give this mix a little whisk so that everything comes together in a uniform mix and everything is homogeneous in there. Just break up any lumps that you see in there so that's fine and uniform. And now we're gonna put this to the side and we're gonna work with our eggs. So I have separated 3 large eggs, and first I'm gonna cream the egg yolks. So now getting to the eggs, I have the egg yolks separated here, and I'm gonna drop in 1 teaspoon of our natural vanilla bean artisan. It has a very rich flavor and you can see the specks of actual vanilla bean in there, and that's what we're looking for here, the nice rich deep vanilla flavor, which just brings out the cocoa flavor, and that gives that amazing amp up to your cake. So there we go, and we're just gonna give it a mix. Once that's in, I'm gonna keep whisking, and at the same time I'm gonna drizzle in sugar. It is 120 grams of granulated white sugar. I'm just gonna drizzle it in. So with this cake, I would always say that you start with room temperature ingredients, and also make sure that you weigh your ingredients correctly, preferably with a kitchen scale. That'll give you the best possible results. So you don't want to drop the whole ball of sugar directly into it as you whisk, because it'll be harder. As you go, it'll get paler and you can see the egg yolks getting whipped up. Now all the sugar is in there, and I'm gonna drop in 1 tablespoon of sour cream. You can substitute it with buttermilk or you can skip it too, but I like a little more moisture in the cakes, and I believe that sour cream is the best way to give that. So I always go by sour cream. Now I'm going to add in 60 ml of vegetable oil. You can use any flavorless oil like canola, sunflower, or regular vegetable oil. Give it a nice whisk so that it'll come together in a nice flowy liquid mix. When it's smooth and all mixed in, we're going to keep this aside and we're going to work with our egg whites. We're keeping the egg yolk mix to the side, and now it's time to heat up 1/4 cup of water, regular water, piping hot. You can do it in the microwave or on the stove top. You can just bring it to like a simmer and take it out. And at this point, you can add 1/4 cup to half a teaspoon of coffee powder, instant coffee powder, but I prefer to add our espresso coffee artisan into it, and it gives a nice robust flavor of coffee. So here we go, and I'm going to heat it up and bring it to a boil, but not a rolling boil, just simmering and about to boil. That's the stage we want it to be. I'll heat it up and be right back. The water with the espresso coffee artisan in there is all heated up and ready to go, and we don't want to lose time. Now we're going to whip up our 3 egg whites. While I'm whipping, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of regular granulated white sugar and make a meringue, and it's going to be stiff peaks. That's what we are looking for here, well formed stiff peaks. As soon as the egg mixture gets foamy, you would want to add the sugar, so you're going to drizzle it in. There we go. The meringue is all whipped up and we have stiff peaks, and that's what we're looking for here. It's all done. So the egg whites are whipped, and now we're going to put all this together, and this is the time that you have to get your oven heated up to 350F or 180C. And at the same time, I would also like to keep my cake tins prepped, so I seal it with cake spray or whichever spray that you have, or you can use butter and oil in there and give it a nice coating. You can also have parchment paper lined bottoms, which is easier. Also, you can use non-stick cake tins, which is so much more easier. So I have the flour mix. Now I'm going to drop in the egg yolk mix into the flour mix and give it a nice mix and bring it all together. So this is going to be a little hard right now because the amount of liquid in there is less, but it'll come together. It'll look like a paste, and we're going to thin it down with the water and the egg whites after that. So just hang in there and get mixing. It's like getting in a good workout, so go for it. This is coming together in a paste, and to thin it down, we're going to add a little bit of our hot coffee water. There we go. We're going to keep mixing again. It's going to be a little hard at this point, but keep doing it. Here we go. You're always reluctant to try something gluten-free always because you keep thinking you're going to miss out on something. But let me tell you, this cake would not make you feel that way. You will feel like you're biting into something that you're always used to. Now that we have this paste ready, we're going to fold in the egg whites, and I like to do it in batches, not the whole thing at once in there and deflate the egg whites. That's not what I'm looking for. I want to go in batches, and I'm going to start with 1/3 of the egg whites here. And the first batch, I'm going to really whip it in there and mix it with the chocolate mixture. But the next 2 batches, I'm just going to gently fold. Now I'm going to drop in the second batch of the meringue, and this time I'm going to fold. And once that's incorporated, I'm going to fold in the last of the egg whites and just mix it again, gently folding. Now comes the last of the egg whites, folding, and we're almost there. Your nut flour chocolate cake is coming together before you know it. The batter is all ready. You don't want to keep this batter out for a long time on the counter. As soon as you're done with the batter, the oven should be preheated and you have to bake it then and there. So I have my cake tins. I've used two 6-inch cake tins. You can use 1 8-inch, or you can double the batter, the quantity of the batter, and go for like 2 8-inches, all up to you. And the more of this cake you make, the more you're gonna eat it. So, but you can eat, indulge, and feel guilt-free, so go for it. So I'm gonna divide the batter in these two tins. If I'm not wrong, each tin will hold around 280 grams of batter. And you need to give a little space in the tins for the cake to really rise because of the egg whites and the baking soda and baking powder in there. So do not overfill the cake tins. You don't have to go like till the top or till 2/3. It's better you keep it to like half of the cake tin. You will notice that once you take the cakes that's baked, when you take it out of the oven, it'll look like a souffle, and then it'll just go down a bit, but it'll still be airy and very moist. It's just the air in there getting deflated a bit, but that doesn't mean it's going to be starchy or really fudgy. It's going to be really airy and smooth and soft, so don't worry about that too. So you want to give these two cake tins a nice tap on the counter to release air pockets. There we go. Time to bake our cakes. The oven is preheated at 350 F or 180 C, and I'm gonna pop these babies in the oven, and it might take around 30 minutes. So keep an eye out for the cakes being baked by around 25 minutes, and then poke a skewer or a toothpick in there and see if it comes out clean. Then you know it's done. So here we have the cake all baked and ready. I've cooled it on the countertop for around 30 minutes and it's all done. So now you can see how spongy this is and how smooth it is. I'm gonna cut myself a slice. I'm gonna take myself a slice and see how this is. Can you guys see that? It's moist, it's done, it's not fudgy, but it's airy and light and smooth. And I'm gonna eat it with a dollop of ice cream in there because I like my cake with a bit of ice cream. I like warm cakes with ice cream. It's kind of like my go-to dessert. So now taste test time. No, I'm not wrong. This is really, really good. And you can really compare it and keep it in par with a regular chocolate cake and eat the whole thing, because when you start eating this, you cannot stop. I remember when I was making this cake at home, my husband was like, "What's special about this cake? It's like any other chocolate cake." It's like, you can eat it guilt-free. You can make it without fear and indulge guilt-free. That's what is special about this cake. So this cake came around exactly like I wanted it to be. It's nice, soft, airy, smooth, and chocolatey. So go make it at home, and if you do, tag us at Amoretti on our social media channels: Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and TikTok. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you like this video, like, comment, and also come chat with me about this chocolate cake, because I know this is going to win your heart. Go make it at home. Thank you. Have a great day.